Uh, Thank you very much, Sonya Norris from the Library of Michigan, who's going to explain Ploud libraries and how libraries can make websites fairly simply with the templates and hosting via a subsidized project from the Library of Michigan. Sonya, over to you.
Thank you. Good morning. So, as Cheryl said, my name is Sonya Norris. I have been working with Ploud for 8 years from here at the Library of Michigan. Ploud stands for Public Libraries in the Cloud. It is a website hosting and template solution designed especially for small and rural libraries. We serve about half of the small and rurals in the Lower Peninsula, so if you join, you will be in good company. I would like to tell you about the product this morning and give you a tour of some sites so you know what they look like, what's involved, what you'll be getting. I'll also show you how to do some basic editing so you get a feel for operating a Ploud website. Ploud is currently in use in 5 states nationwide. Michigan has a customized template from which you can add or delete pages as you like. The vendor for the product is Enfold Systems out of Houston, Texas, and they're the ones that developed the underlying software as well, so they've got a long history with this product. When you come on board with Ploud, you get several things. You get the hosting for the website. They also handle all of the security as well as regular product upgrades, so there's never a cost for an update to the software. You can keep your URL if you already have one, or the program will provide you with one at no charge. It is completely up to you how you want to handle that. So let's take a look at the michlibrary.org homepage. This is a nice place to come to if you ever want to take a look at all of the sites here in Michigan. So if you look over on your screen, you can see michlibrary.org. And on the left, we've got a navigation item for Michigan Ploud libraries. This is all 100 libraries here in the state. If you ever want to just peruse, it's a good place to come. I'm going to take you to 4 different sites that are active now in Michigan that are using 4 different templates. You have your choice among those templates, and you can swap out anytime. You will never lose content by changing your look and feel. For each one, there is between 4 and a dozen different color schemes. So there's quite a bit of variety in look for the Ploud sites. So let's take a look at our first example site. And this is the Hart Area Public Library site. And I'm just going to show you a couple of things about each one of these. I want to save the bulk of my time this morning for my test site and the editing process. But as you can see here, the Hart Area Public Library has a link to their catalog. They have a link to their Overdrive product. Over here on the right, there is a widget for location and hours. It allows you to go into a Google map of your library that includes directions as well as your hours and contact information. They've also opted to include the Mel search widget on their site. This searches the Encore Duet product at mel.org, and it will take you open a new window and take you into the mel.org search results. Another library in the Mid-Michigan Library League Co-op that uses Ploud is the Cadillac Wexford Public Library. So one of the features that they've used from Ploud is the carousel feature, which is a rotating image. You can put this on any page and you can have multiple carousels. They also have a very busy calendar. Under News and Announcements, we can go to Library Calendar. This is what an event calendar looks like in Ploud. For each event, there is a colored dot. You can then open them up. It will show you on the calendar view the date, time, and title of the event, and then you can go further into it. This happens to be a recurring event, so it'll show you all of the dates that this is going to happen. Then there is a description of the event, and there's lots of space within the event to put text and images, and they just chose not to do that for this particular event. Another template is in use by the Camden Township Library. They've embedded a search on their site to their online historical information database, which is here under their local history tab. And you can search this here, the digital collections for the Camden Township Library. They also have a number of search widgets on the left side of their site for products that are available to their patrons, including the Woodlands downloadable library, a different Overdrive icon, Ancestry, Zinio, etc. And again, this is the third of the 4 available templates, and the color scheme that they've chosen is the blue and green color scheme. The last template I wanted to show you is from the Buchanan District Library. This is the simplest of them all. Simple, clear, black and white color scheme, but I wanted to show you how this template uses a larger carousel that takes up 2/3 of the space of the screen. And then they've got information over on the right about catalog, location, and hours. So let's go ahead on over to our test site, and I'm going to show you some of the editing capability. This is my test site, the Annie Cohen Public Library. And the first thing that I'd like to do is show you how the calendar functions. So let's go ahead and go on into our calendar, into events. And I'm going to add a recurring event, a monthly recurring event, and show you how that works. So I'm logged in, and I click on Add New Event. And I've got a number of fields, and the title for my event is going to be Friends Group Book Sale. We feature thousands of books every month for sale to the public. And I've got a number of fields that I can fill out for this. My event start date is going to be the first date that this occurs, and I'm going to say that my Friends Group book sales are the first Saturday of every month, so I'm going to choose the first Saturday of October as my event start date. My library is open from 12 to 5 on Saturdays, so I'm going to select noon to 5 p.m. I can select times in quarter-hour increments. The location of the event is going to be the Friends Book Nook. We can have a contact name, a contact email that will be hyperlinked in the event, and a phone number. And then we also have space within our event to add a URL if there's a web address about the event. And we also have space for text. And you have as much space as you would like. And then here under Occurrence, there's this rather discreet Add button, but it brings up this really powerful functionality. And this allows you to select how often your event is going to recur. So our event is going to recur monthly. It's going to repeat every single month. If I selected every 2 months, that would be every other month. And then I can select either the day of the month or the first that it's going to occur. So this is going to be the first Saturday of the month. And then I choose when it's going to end, either after a certain number of occurrences or until a certain date. And I'm going to select the end of the year for the end of my occurrence. Now it's going to show me all of the dates on which this is going to appear on my calendar. Let's say that for a staff in-service, the library is going to be closed on Saturday, November 4th. We can come over here to the Exclude button and mark Saturday, November 4th off, and then we can add an additional date, and it defaulted to September 13th. I'm going to go ahead and go into November and make it the second Saturday and add that. So now we can see that we have an additional date of Saturday, November 11th, that we've excluded Saturday, November 4th, and then it also appears on October and December's calendars. And I can save that. Scroll down to the bottom of the item and save it. I'm going to go ahead and publish my event. This is what the single event looks like. We feature thousands of books every month for sale to the public. Here's my text, and I can add images or links as I would like. Shows me which dates it's going to occur, where it's going to be, the contact name. This will open up into an email, the phone number, and the ability for the patron to add it to their calendar. If I go back to my calendar, and go into October, I can see that it appears here on my calendar. So quickly, that's how you would add a single event to a calendar. But there's also a feature of Ploud websites called collections, where you can pull multiple events out of your calendar. So let's look here at a collection that I've titled Days the Library Will Be Closed in 2018. And this is a page made up of individual dates from the calendar that the library is going to be closed. So rather than having to scroll through the individual months to find out if the library is going to be closed, it collects all of this information on a single day. It's also very easy to add or delete items from this list. So for instance, we don't have the Christmas holiday here, so I'm going to go ahead and go back to my calendar and show you how to add the Christmas holiday to your collection. I'm going to add a new event and title it Closed for the Christmas Holiday. My event start date is going to be December 24th. I'm going to mark it all day. It automatically defaults to the end date of the same date, but I can expand that if I want to make it a multi-day event. Once I've clicked whole day, my times disappear. And then under categorization, I have tagged, excuse me, I have tagged the events on the calendar for which we're going to be closed with a simple tag that's marked closed. And I save this. And publish it. And go back to my collection. And now I can see that we're closed for the Christmas holiday as well. And I marked this for 2017 instead of 2018, which is why it's appearing at the top of the list. So these collections can be very handy for pulling events from anywhere on your site. It's not just the calendar that you can pull events out of. You could pull all of your summer reading events, you could pull different programming events, and I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. So the next thing I wanted to show you was how the carousels work. So I've got a couple of programming carousels. If we look here under Family Programs, we can see that we have a number of featured programs, the Daddy-Daughter Hair Salon, movies, library mini golf, and Build a Fairy House. And they're images are located on top of a collection of events that have been pulled out of the calendar. So let's take a look at a second example, and I'll show you how to add a carousel and then add those rotating images. So if we go here, we have a second listing of programming. This is programming for adults. And I have my events listed: upcycled jewelry, Japanese bookbinding, board games, battle royale, and learning magic. But we need our images. This is what's called a cover page. That allows you to use drag and drop functionality to build out page elements. So I'm going to go to Layout, which shows me the structure of my page. And I can see here that I have a collection tile on the bottom. I'm going to add a row on top and simply drag and drop row. And then within my row, I'm going to drag a Ploud carousel. I'm going to say that I want my image to be large so that it takes up the whole center of the page, and I'm going to save that. Now I go to my Compose tab, and to save some time this morning, I already uploaded the images to the site, which is a very simple process, but I click on this Add Content button. I go to my content tree, and I've organized my images in a subfolder called Images. I scroll to the most recently added images, which are upcycled jewelry, learning magic, Japanese bookbinding, and board games battle royale. And I simply drag and drop them into the carousel, go over to View, and now I can watch them rotate. So the carousels are really quite easy to operate. I wanted to show you this location and hours widget. You can access that by going to what's called your root folder contents, or the base level of your site. And there is a widget called Our Location and Hours. And for this example site, we happen to have two locations. We have a main branch, and then we have a branch library. And if I open up Annie Cohen Public Library, I see that I have an image that's been associated with this that I simply uploaded, and then I have a number of fields to fill out. And as long as I have filled out this address field, the Google mapping will automatically be generated for me. I have space for phone, fax, an email, which is hyperlinked automatically, and then I have space to include my hours. And down here is where I add my library image. If I ever want to replace it, I simply click on Replace and choose File and upload a new image. So the location and hours portlet is very easy to manage. This is where I would come if I ever had a change in hours that I needed to update on my website. Ploud websites also have forms, and I want to show you a couple of those. The simplest form is the Contact Us form. This is just a quick 3 fields. It takes about 5 minutes to generate. It includes your email address, a subject, and comments. And you can then send this form, the results of this form, to as many email addresses as you would like. So if you want to have one that goes to the director, and you want to copy either the assistant director or your circulation clerk, you can do that. If you would like to have a form that goes to all of your board of trustee members, you can do that as well. Forms can also get fancy. I want to show you one that has one additional field. If you click here on Apply to Join the Friends Group, you can see that we have one additional field titled How Would You Like to Help? Book Sales, Friends Garden, 5K Fundraiser, or Newsletter Committee. And here there's a quick edit button. And if I go into quick edit, I'm brought up with another drag and drop functionality page where I can drag different fields into my form and make changes to my form here. So let's actually go into a page and look at editing some text. I'm going to go into the director's message. And we have here some text from the director. So let's spiffy this up a little bit. I'm going to click on the Edit tab. Let's add an image of our director. I'm going to place my cursor at the front of my text, and I'm going to click here on the Insert/Edit Image button. And I'm going to look for an internal image for director photo. Ploud sites are also very nicely set up to accommodate accessibility information for users with visual disabilities. There are title and alternative text fields so that screen readers can interpret what's happening on your website. We have an alignment button here for the image. I can choose whether I want the image on the right or the left. I'm going to choose the right and insert it. And now I have my director's image. Here is her email address. I'm going to copy director@anniecohen.org and come up here to the Insert/Edit Link icon. I have a number of links that I can choose from: internal, upload, external, email, or anchor. Anchor would be an email that would be a link within a page. I'm going to choose email. I'm going to paste her address under email address. And then under subject, which is optional, I can pre-populate this to say contact from website, so that each time she gets an email from this web link, she knows where it's coming from. And I can choose either to open it in the new window or in the current window. And I'm going to open this in a new window and insert. Those are a couple of quick features for the editing capabilities. I wanted to show you a little bit more about that drag and drop page layout capability. Let's go on over to the Tech Corner. This is another cover page, and I can see here that I have 3 tiles. I've got 2 text tiles, and I have a list tile on the bottom with PDF documents. If I go under Layout and scroll down, I can view the structure of my page. I can see that I have 2 rich text tiles on top. I can choose to make them wider or more narrow. I can choose to give them shadow or background colors. And I can save that. I can also choose to add additional content blocks at any time. This adds a row. This now adds 2 columns. And within my 2 columns, I can add space for more text. I can save that. Go back to Compose. Click on Edit. And it is that easy to add new text to the page. You don't need to use a cover page to set up a page. You can absolutely do it just like we had the director's message where it was simple text and images. But this allows you to build things out and have a little bit more control over layout should you desire. So I also wanted to show you that in Michigan, the templates have built-in MEL databases access. So we have an eShelf and Research tab here, and we have some of the more popular databases pre-populated on the sites: General OneFile, Chilton Library, Heritage Quest, Health and Wellness Resource Center, and InfoTrack Newsstand. We also have on this template the Michigan eLibrary search widget. We've also built out some information for the kids and teens homework help sections, once again with the MEL databases: Britannica School, Early World of Learning, Kids Info Bits, World Book for Kids, and then some reading resources: Scholastic Bookflix, eBook K-8 Collection, and Novelist K-8+. You can add as many pages and as many folders to your site as you would like. It is completely extensible. There's no size limit to your website, so you're able to both add and delete content at will. I wanted to show you the extensive help collection that's available to all Ploud libraries. If you go under your user menu icon, you can click on the Get Help link, and it will open up a new window that will take you to the Knowledge Base Help Desk from Enfold Systems. There are literally dozens of articles about how to operate Ploud, as well as the ability for all users to log in and submit a ticket if it's a non-emergency issue. There's also a phone number to call if your site is down or if you simply need help right away and that's the only time you have to work on your site. You're welcome to give them a call and they can work with you right then. The search function is very nice. So for instance, to get that code for the MEL search widget, you would simply type in MEL and it would bring up adding the Michigan eLibrary search to your site. And it has step-by-step instructions with screenshots to walk you through how to make that happen on your site. So the cost for Ploud is broken up between the libraries and the Library of Michigan, which uses Federal Library Services and Technology Act dollars to pay for part of the cost. Libraries pay 45% and the LSTA dollars take care of the remaining 55%. This year, the cost to libraries for a full year of service was $200, and your cost if you joined now would be prorated through May 31st of 2018. That is our contract end date. Training is provided each fall through the Library of Michigan, and I generally come up to the Cadillac-Wexford Area Public Library to provide training for Mid-Michigan Library League libraries in the fall. And if I get a minimum of one additional library at this time, I will also provide a special newbie training on Friday, November 10th in Cadillac from 10 to 4. We will walk you through most aspects of your template, and you will be finished and well on your way to going live with the new website by the end of the day. Cost for the workshop is $20, and that includes lunch. You do need to go through me to get signed up for a site and to get registered, but you can let either Cheryl or myself know that you would like to come on board, and then we will be back in touch with you for getting those details. Sherma, can I answer any questions for you?
On one of the spots, it showed that there were ebooks for kids. I'm assuming you have to have ebooks to start with, correct?
The MEL databases include ebooks for kids. If it's one of the other sites, they may have purchased additional ebook collections for their patrons, so that would come from their own budgets.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Sure. So what did you think of the product?
Very impressive.
Is it easier than what you have now?
I'm going to say yes, and because it has a lot more features, and I'm not very good at the computer.
Okay.
And I think it looks like it might be fairly user-friendly.
I think it is. It does take a little bit of getting used to. It's got its own terminology and that type of thing. But once you're accustomed to it, I think it is pretty easy to operate. And once again, I come back for training every fall, and I do have people that return to training each fall because the vendor, Enfold Systems, is constantly coming out with updates. So it's nice to learn what was added new during the year. This year they are adding registration software, which is a really big win for Ploud. It's going to be tied into the calendar, and it's going to allow your patrons to register for individual events. You will then get notification about how many people are registered. You will be able to download spreadsheets that you can turn into sign-in sheets, and you'll be able to email everyone who's registered for the class if you need to send them information or an update about times or locations, that type of thing. So that is what is new on their plates for this year, is registration software.
And Sherma, when you use Dreamweaver, who then you have to pay for hosting of So you pay for the software and you pay for hosting, right?
To be honest, when we started, it was $10 a year, and I can't remember what if it's changed to anything more than that. But
who hosts your website?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean.
Yeah. But whoever it is that's got your domain service, that they maintain your domain service at, is it richlandlibrary.org or something like that? I know I looked it up a minute ago.
Yeah, I think all that's handled by our tech, Virgo. So those are questions I can't even answer for you.
Yeah. Well, that's good, though. I mean, somebody needs to have your back and make sure your domain is, extended each year so that somebody doesn't just all of a sudden, abscond with it. That's when people, go to a website and then it's got completely different content because somebody didn't, keep it up and somebody else came along and, occupied their domain, which is, one of the insidious things people do on the internet. Well, for us, I pay for hosting and I also pay for Dreamweaver, and it's expensive. I think it costs about $30 a month or something for the software. So this seems to be, and it includes hosting, and it. I like the way it integrates with Mel and the resources that are already, able to be just put on your website easily, and they work well.
Sherma, can I answer any other questions for you? Is there anything you want to see, anything you're curious about?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay.
I wrote down some questions as we went, and I'm going to talk to Keith about it.
I'm going to post the archive of this webinar, Sherma, and I'll send it out to you and the people that weren't able to be on this morning. And then what we're going to do is ask for a decision by a week from Friday. So the 22nd, we'll want a decision of whether you're going to join or not, so that we can know whether or not we're going to have that in-person training on November 10th.
Okay. Is it all right if when you send me that link, can I send it to Keith and have him take a look at the program?
Absolutely. It'll be the same place where all of the other archived webinars that we've done are. So, like, if you forgot that maybe, a long time ago we did records retention for public libraries, the webinar is still there and archived. So you can always go back and see these things, and they're on our website. So I will totally send you that link, and you can share it with whomever because it's public.
Okay.
Sherma, is Keith your tech?
Yes.
He is welcome to call me, too, if he has any questions. That would be no problem. And he's also welcome to come to the training along with you. You can invite whoever you would like.
Okay.
That was a great thing for you to tell her, Sonya. That's excellent. Because people may not know that they can have another person, you know, who maybe not even an employee of the library, but, you know, on contract or what have you. You will still invite them to the training.
Sure,
right?
Happy to talk and happy to train whoever comes.
Nice.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sherma.
Thanks for your time today, Sonya, and we'll be back in touch with you and let you know who's interested before the end of the day on Friday the 22nd.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Cool.
Bye-bye.
Bye.